The woman kept licking the water droplets that had condensed on the metal plate. To collect those precious drops, she even used a bottle. The rusty smell made her feel nauseous, but there was no other source of water. She had been trapped inside this container for over a month. To make matters worse, the container was floating in the middle of the ocean and salty seawater kept seeping in through tiny holes. She hadn't had a proper drink of water for days, yet seawater was completely undrinkable. Just when she was about to give up, she felt a few drops fall on her face. Lisa slowly lifted her head and realized it had started raining. She couldn't believe her luck. She raised both her hands and let this blessing from the sky soak in. Then she placed all her utensils and containers on the table to collect the precious rainwater. But Lisa knew very well that this was not a long-term solution. The real challenge was opening the container. She started drilling into the metal, but the drill overheated and broke, shattering her hope of escape. Lisa didn't have enough strength to break the metal plate on her own, and to make things worse, her last 2 bottles of water were almost empty. In this desperate state, Lisa emotionally broke down and began smashing things in anger. By accident, she found a metal file. Seeing it gave her a little hope, but it was far less effective than the drill. She scraped the metal for a long time, but there was no real progress, and her hands were covered in blisters. Her body was almost giving up due to severe dehydration. The next day, Lisa came up with a better escape plan. If she could completely cut through one side of the container, she could open it like a tin can. She tied 2 ropes tightly and began slamming the container repeatedly with all her strength. Slowly, the crack began to widen. Using her full weight, she pulled hard, and with a sharp metallic screech, the plate finally broke open. Light fell on Lisa's face once again, but as soon as she got outside, she felt disappointed. She was still floating in the vast open ocean. Even so, being outside felt far more comfortable than the dark, damp space inside the container, and she felt mentally free from her imprisonment. Lisa wrote several notes asking for help, placed them inside food cans, and threw them into the sea, hoping someone would find them. Time passed, and the water level inside the container kept rising. With no other choice, she had to continue living in it. One day, she suddenly spotted a seabird. Lisa was overjoyed, because where seabirds fly, land is never too far away.